Hi cubies and newbies, I am Sunshine. Welcome to the ABCube method for solving Rubik's Cubes. This is that. I'm its creator. The formula A is 4 moves, formula B is 8 moves, works on every complexity Rubik's Cube, and regardless of size and complexity, as long as it's an n by n by n. It also works on this would even 3 by 9 with the minor adaptation, works on every minx as well. Formula A is 4 moves, brings a piece to the top, and twists the corners around as needed. Formula B moves 3 pieces around, and that's all you ever need to do. Whether 2 by 2 or as big as you can hold in your hand, it's all the same. So this is not, just lost some people. This is not a speed solve method. It's not a fewest moves method. It's like the dancing bear. It may not do it well, but it does it, and that's its claim to fame. There's no order of operations. You can do it in whatever order you want. However, I generally do corners first because every cube you have has the 8 corners. So you can start off doing all of them the exact same way. So I work with the corners, and then I work with the edges, and centers is the last that I do. Partly because if you'll notice there's no parity algorithm. That's because parities are a lie and you don't have to play with them unless you want to. So when I do the corners first and then the edges, if the parity shows up, I just swipe it away with a single quarter turn over the inner slice that touches the parity, and the parity is gone. I don't have to worry about it, and since I haven't done the centers yet, there's nothing to redo. I just then do the centers after the parity is gone. It's faster and easier, in my opinion, than doing a parity algorithm at the end. So I am Sunshine, and this is that. I've done on these cubes. I've done the corners on all of these cubes, which means the 2 by 2 is done, and for everything else it dictates what color each face is going to be. The corners do. We used to work around the centers. That became less intuitive when we graduated to the 4 by 4. But so all of these have the corners done, and I've started working on the opposite edges. I've been working. I do the yellow corners and the white corners, and then the corners are all done. So since I've been training my eyes to look for yellow or white when I'm working with start doing the edges, I work with the opposite edges, which are the yellow and white edges. So I hold the cube so that yellow and white are left and right, and I look for a edge piece anywhere in the middle area that has a yellow or a white on it, and I apply formula B to that piece. Okay, so if you look, formula A is 4 moves. For every left there's a right, for every up there's a down. Formula B is 8 moves. The same with every other horizontal is the reverse of the one before it. Every other move's horizontal, and then for every up there's a down. So we've got up and then down and then down. So on the edge pieces, the 2 columns, the top row is your row. 2 columns are first where it's going to land and second where it begins. So first thing I do is I active color on top, corners match the front. It's going in this direction. Okay, I'm going to see whether I can do all of them at the same time. I can place both of these over in this direction. Okay, so I'm going to do them one at a time just so that you can see how it's done. So away, up, in, up, away, down, in, down. And then this one, away, up, in, up, away, down, in, down. Okay, so if it's going for the formula B, top row outside column moves 3 corners around. Top row outside and inside column moves edges around. And instead of memorizing which 2 columns do which things, you just follow the piece that you want to move. So you find a piece in the middle that has the yellow or white on it, bring the corners together to match the front, and determine which direction it's going to go. Okay, B as written. B to the left is the B as written. Top row away from the action. First row up. First column up. Row comes back. Second column is where the cube is now, which places it in the back there, and then reverse down, reverse down. Okay, no more yellow reds here or here. There's some here, We keep doing this for as long as there's yellow or whites in the middle. And when there are no more yellow or whites in the middle, then we assess to see how we're doing. So, Hi, you guys. If you've just found me, I'm Sunshine, and this is me playing with Rubik's cubes because they're fun. Okay, so corners are done. Corners white and yellow. Corners are yellow and white. Yellow and white are left and right, as dictated by the corners. Here's one. We're going to place this piece. Corners match the front. It's going in this direction. Let's see if there's any more that line up. There is. Okay. So these two, I'm going to place these two, and this one wants to move out also. So I'll put this random piece in there as well. So I'm going to place all three of these. So away, up, in, up, away, down, in, down. Okay. And then look for any more yellow or whites in the middle. Okay. Active color should be on top. Corners match the front. It's going this direction. Okay, that's not helpful. I can't place that yet. Away, up, in, up, away, down, in, down. Okay. And here's another one going in this direction. Away, up, in, up, away, down, in, down. If I'm going too fast, or if you have any questions, or you want me to demonstrate any particular part of what I'm doing, please feel free to drop a line in the chat, and I'm happy to pause what I'm doing and answer questions. I try to do all of my cubes the exact same way, which means there's only one way to learn, which means there's only one thing you must learn, and when you learn how to do this, it works on the 2x2 through as big as you want to hold. So here's a yellow and white are left and right as dictated by the corners. Here's a yellow. Bring the corners to match the front. Determine its direction. It's going this way. So this is the top row. This is the first column is where it's going to land. Second column is where it begins. Start by moving away from the action. So we go out, up, in, up, out, down, in, down. And we're just placing pieces one at a time. You'll notice I don't spend time pairing up my edges. I don't say, oh, here's a yellow and green, where's the other yellow and green? How can I get them next to each other? And then after I do that for all of the whole cube, then I place it as if it were through 3x3. I do not do the reductionist method. I just pick a piece at random that wants to be placed somewhere, and I just toss it in its direction, and they pair themselves up. You don't have to worry about pairing things up. So the looking for cubes to match, that's something you can cut out of your examination time. So away, up, in, up, away, down, in, down, and that is placed. Okay, so these are not white and yellow, these are not white and yellow, these are not white and yellow, and these are not white and yellow. When you run out of white and yellow in the middle, and again we're only looking at the edge pieces, we're not looking at the center pieces, then it's time to reassess the opposite edges and see whether they're happy. So the corners are still done, and the edge pieces are placed in between the colors, their color corners. So the yellow opposite edges are done here. Opposite edges were done here. We missed what we left one there, which I was going to just use as the next step, but I'm going to place it so I can see how to do it. I should find a random piece to put into the space, and that will move the misplaced piece to the back where I can then place it as needed. So yellow and white are left and right, corners match the front. It's going this direction, away, up, in, up, away, down, in, down, and the yellow and white opposite edges are now placed. Okay, so this one's done. Opposite edges are placed on this one. Opposite edges done on this one and on this one. So the next step, we've established that Formula B moves the edge pieces from the top front to the side front, depending on which way you move it away from where it wants to land. So we're going to do the next to do the next edges, the side edges now, we're going to put the white face down, and white will be face down until all the edges are done now from this point forward. So I'm checking the sides to see if they're correct. This one's correct, this one's not, this one's not, this one's not. I just find an edge piece that is not correct, and I'm going to displace a yellow piece from the top into that spot, which will move it out to the front, to the top, where I can then place it correctly. So the yellow that's face down that we're abandoning is going to demonstrate which columns I'm working on, which doesn't matter so much on a 3x3, but on a 5x5 it gets bigger. You can lose track. So this is incorrect. I'm going to displace a yellow into it. Slide up, slide up, slide down, slide down. And so this yellow will eventually find its way back to the top, and when it does, we'll reassess. But in the meantime, we're going to ignore everything on top that's yellow and look only for the pieces that are not yellow. Okay, so this piece does not have yellow on it. I'm going to hold the top row, and I'm going to rotate the whole cube until the corners match the front color. Okay, and then the top color tells me which direction it's going to land, because the blue and red, or green and red, will land above the green and red something corner, not the blue and red something corner. So it's going in this direction. So top row, first column and second column where it's going to land, and then away, up, in, up, away, down, in, down, and that cube is placed. And the top front back, or the top back, has another cube I can play with. It doesn't have yellow on it. Hold the top, rotate the corners to match the front, determine its direction. It's going this way, and then start by moving away. First up, back, second up, away, down, back, down. Okay, and then this piece, corners to match the front, determine its direction, away, up, in, up, away, down, in, down, and yellow found its way back to the top, so we assess, and everything is happy. That won't always be the case when the yellow comes back to the top. Sometimes the side pieces are where they want to be, but flipped. There's lots of things that can happen. A 3x3 does not usually have a parity, but it can if you don't know what the center is supposed to be. So if there's going to be a parity, it's going to show up when you're doing the side edges in this method of doing things. So the 2x2 is now done because the corners are done. The 3x3 is now done because the opposite edges are done, and then the side edges, and that's all there is to it. These two have the corners and the opposite edges done, but we haven't done the side edges. So let's do the side edges for this. So white face down, and we're looking to see whether any of them are correctly placed. And we can do that. Okay, so some of them are placed. These are incorrect. I'm going to displace. Now I'm only going to displace layer by layer, or column by column. I'm not going to displace all of them into there. I'm just going to displace break them apart one at a time. I only go through to the middle when I'm displacing a yellow. That way, if there is a parity at the end, I force it to be in the same row as itself rather than any other way it can show up. So the way I'm doing, my order of operations, which is irrelevant, does force the parity to show up in a particular manner instead of in another manner. So these are incorrect. I'm going to displace one of them. I'm going to displace this piece. Up, up, down, down. And this yellow, I'm going to keep placing not yellow until this yellow finds its way back to the top. Okay, so I'm ignoring all the yellows on top, looking at just the one piece that's not yellow. I hold that row. And blue is the front color, so I need to rotate the cube so that blue, the corners match the front. And the second color is red, so it's going in this direction. So first column, second column, start by moving away. Up, up, down, down. Okay. Blue, it's blue and orange, bring the corners to match the front. It's going in this direction. Away, up, in, up, away, down, in, down. Okay, find another piece. Okay, and yellow found its way to the top. So now we assess. These ones are correct, these ones are correct, these ones are not correct. So I'm going to displace a yellow into one of these not correct spots. Okay, if these were correctly placed, this is what parity looks like. If you have two parities, it's not a parity. You can fix them. But a parity, if these two were solved and we were only looking at these, a parity is where it looks like there's two pieces and only two pieces that need to switch places. This one has four pieces that need to switch places. So this looks like a parity and this looks like a parity, but because there's two of them, they even each other out. So I don't have to do the parity solve. But so I'm going to displace this piece into here. Up, up, down, down. Okay. And again, bring the corners to match the front. It's going in this direction. Away, up, in, up, away, down, in, down. Another piece. Corners to match the front. It's going in this direction. Up, up, down, down. Yellow found its way back to the top, and we reassess, and everything is in its correct place. So it looked like there was going to be a parity, but there was not a parity because there was two parities. Two parities cancel each other out. A parity is when the row that touches the parity is 1/4 turn off. This is an example of a 3x3. It's just a spinner. It's just a fidget spinner. But if you have it, pretending that this is the corners and edges and this is the opposite center, if this center is a 1/4 turn off like this, and if I tried to assemble a 3x3 in this color orientation, I would end up with a parity. When I got to the edges, it would not work. But if it was 2 1/4 turns off, I could assemble it this way. So it's not whether it's a 1/4 turn off or not. It's whether it's how many 1/4 turn. It's whether it's an odd number of 1/4 turns off from solved or an even number of 1/4 turns off from solved. So if you ever have a parity where it looks like there's just two pieces, it's caused by the center slice being a 1/4 turn off. So see if this one will give me a parity. It's easier to demonstrate than to hypothesize. How are you guys all doing today? We got through another week. Everyone happy? Okay, so corners are done. Opposite edges are done. We're working on side edges now. So wipe those face down. Line up my absolute center before I start, because otherwise that will give me a parity. But I can't line up these centers because I don't know which is going to be correct or not until I either do or don't have a parity. So I'm going to displace yellows into the side. I can do it one layer at a time, or I can do it all the way up through the middle but not beyond. So up through the middle but not beyond, and then down and down. I displaced these yellows down here, and these yellows came from here. When I place these ones are going to come forward again. So these yellows, the blue and yellows, are going to go bop back and forth until these yellows find their way back to the top. So white is face down. I'm essentially ignoring it, but it's also going to be a visual cue for me as to which columns I'm working on in case I get distracted in the middle of a movement. So I find a piece on top that's not yellow. Okay, I hold the top of the cube, top row, rotate the entire cube until the corners match the front. Determine its direction. It's going above the orange and green, not the orange and red, so it's going in this direction. I'm ignoring all of the yellows, working only with one piece at a time, and it's currently edge pieces, and it's edge pieces that are not yellow until the yellow comes back to the top. So this is going over here, away first up, back second up, away first down, back second down. So it's one top row and two columns. Here's the next piece. Okay. Corners match the front. It's going in this direction. So I move it away from this is my first column, this is my second column. Start by moving it away. Up, in, up, away, down, in, down, and it is placed. and I look for, now I look for other pieces on top that are not yellow. Okay, I can set the top in the meantime and just see how things are going, but we're not really going to reassess until the yellow is back to the top. So I hold the top, bring the corners to match the front. Okay, it's going in the blue direction, so this way. Away, up, back, up, away, down, back, down. I say back, I shouldn't say back, I should say out and in. And that one's placed. This one also has a not yellow. Corners match the front. Going in this direction. Away, up, in, up, away, down, in, down. Okay. All right, looking for not yellows. Here we go. Corners match the front. This one's going in the green direction. Away, up, in, up, away, down, in, down. One of my yellows came to the top, but we're going to keep ignoring it until the other one does as well. So as long as there's a not yellow on top, that's the one we're going to be working with. So corners match the front. It's going this direction. Away, up, in, up, away, down, in, down. Okay. Still a not yellow. We can place. Bring the corners to match the front. It's going in the red direction. Slide up, slide down, and our yellow came back to the top. So now we assess. It doesn't have to be correctly placed, it just has to be on top. So these edge pieces are between the corners. These edge pieces are between the corners. These ones are not. These ones need to be repositioned, but these ones are correct. So these ones are incorrect. I'm going to displace a yellow, and hopefully if there's an incorrect yellow, that's the one I'm going to displace. But if there's not, then it would just be regular yellow. So I'm going to displace a yellow into one of these spots. So up. Before I do that, let me just show you. So this is what a parody would look like if we had it. And we may or may not have this when we finish doing these edges. But where it looks like there's two pieces and only two pieces that need to flip. So this looks like a parody, and this looks like a flip parody. Two parodies means that there's not a parody at all. They're going to cancel each other out. But I could, I could just, if there was just one parody, then what I would do is I would make a single quarter turn on the layer that touches the parody, and then instead of one piece being off, I would have three pieces being off, and three pieces you know how to fix. So I'm going to displace this into this incorrect spot. Up, up, down, down. Okay. Look for piece on top that's not yellow. Corners to match the front. Determine its direction. Okay. Up, up, down, down. Okay. Look for piece on top that's not yellow. We're just placing pieces one at a time. Piece on top that's not yellow, bring the corners to match the front. It's going in this direction. Up, up, down, down. And yellow came back to the top, so we assess. The yellow and white are still happy. 1, 2, 3, 4 sides are happy. So, so the cage is done on all of these. The corners are done. The 3x3 is done. The cage is done on all of the larger cubes. And then we've just, all that's left is to fix the centers. As I said, you can use the formula A for the centers for one face, for the centers of only one face, because A affects all 6 sides. I could have done that when I was first working on the first white corners, or I can do it right now if I want to, just to demonstrate how I can do it. So I find a piece on the front that wants to be on the top. I move it under where it wants to be, and then so it wants to land here. So formula A is move a piece away, move the space down, move the piece in the space in, and the piece in the space, piece into the space, and the piece in the space back up again, and then reset. Okay, here's one. Wants to land here, out, down, in, up, reset. Okay, here's one, wants to land here, out, down, in, up. Okay, here's one wants to go here, out, down, in, up. The reason why I don't do this for more than one is because it is affecting all of the sides. Okay, so here's this one, out, down, in, up. This one, line it up, out, down, in, up, and reset. Okay, here's the last one, under where it wants to be, out, down, in, up, and set. Now the reason why, like I said, it only works on one face. If I tried to do it to move this green up here, then I would offset. I'd be undoing my white. But but all of the edge pieces, like I said, can be moved with Formula B. If you do Formula B, top row, outside columns, you're moving corners. Top row, outside, inside column, you're moving edges. If you use 2 inside columns for your Formula B, then you're moving center pieces. And to demonstrate, here's a piece. I find a piece that's incorrect on any side, and it's on the front. Formula B will move it to the top, so I want to hold the cube so that its color is on top, as it is, so there's green. If I were using this yellow one, I'd do it this way. So this corner, now the first horizontal set is to line it up so that this will land where somewhere where it's convenient for something to come down. But so I move it up into that space. I rotate the top row so that this lands in a different column. It can go either direction unless it's a diagonal. And then where it landed is my second column. So this was my first column up, this is my second column up. Okay? And then I reverse, and my bottom color is there telling me which columns I'm on, so I don't go the wrong direction. So I reverse it, and that comes down, reverse again, and that comes down and set the top. And so that moved this piece up here. Okay? Here's another one. Here's an orange. Hold it on in the front, orange on top. It's going to land here. I can bring down this orange or this green or this orange or this blue. So I'm going to line it up so the orange is going to come down. Okay. I go up, slide to a different column, second up, reverse, down, and then reverse, down. So every other move is horizontal. Every horizontal is the reverse of the one before it. Set the top, and there we are. Here's, all right, here's some red, here's a blue. The blue means it's going to have to jump twice. So I will hold off on that. Actually, I won't. So here's a blue. Okay. So if I can find a green to come down, that'll be convenient. But if I can't, then I'm going to find an opposite to bring down. Okay, so the blue has to hop twice, and the red's also going to have to hop twice. So I'm going to line up these two. Up, slide, up, reverse down, set the top as needed, and that's going. Hi, you guys. All right, so we're working on edges, on centers right now, and because I had some requests last Saturday, I'm going to set up for tomorrow's stream. I'm going to try to set up my Zoom classroom so I can do a gameplay capture of my Zoom classroom, so I can demonstrate in real time. So if you or anyone has Zoom and a cube and wants to help me demonstrate how this works, you're welcome to join me. So here's a blue. It's actually two blues. Blues are in front, so I hold the blue onto the top. So I have orange on top, so these are going to move up there. So these two moves can land where this orange and yellow is, or it can land where these two greens are, or it can land where this blue and yellow is, or it can land with this green and red. Okay, so I don't really want to bring the green and red down. I do want to bring the orange down. I could either bring these two or the orange and yellow. I'm going to bring the orange down first. So I go up, slide, second up, down, down, and set the top. Okay. And then Here's another one. Okay. This will bring down the green and yellow. So up. Wait. Yellow is not important because it's the swapping one for the other, so it doesn't matter. Rather than doing this, let's see if I can keep these greens together and as I'm working with them. So here's greens, here's two blues. This is perfect. So these two are going to come down. So I go up, up, down, down, and set. Okay, follow them along again. They want to go up again. Up, up, down, down, and set. Okay, and so we're just looking for, here's a red on the front. Hold it so red's on top. I can bring down the yellow or the orange. Let's bring down the orange. Up. Now, if it's on diagonals, it's kind of particular which direction you have to go. So if I go this way, it's still the same column. That doesn't work. So I go up, slide to a separate column, and then this is my second column. And then reverse down, reverse down. Okay, set. All right, here's an orange on the front. Hold it so orange is on top. I can bring down the blue or the yellow. I don't want the blue because the blue goes in the other direction. So yellow, up, up, down, down, and set the top. Okay, here, and then here's the yellow. Okay, before I do that, I'm going to see what these reds are doing, how I can move these reds. Okay, I'm going to move these two reds into this yellow and blue. So we go up, up, down, down, set. Okay, here's another red. Bring the orange down, up, slide, second up, reverse, down, reverse, down. Okay, so here's two oranges. And I can bring down this blue and yellow. So I go up, I treat this as one piece, second up, down, down, and set. Okay, and again, we just keep going. Lather, rinse, repeat. Pick a piece that's incorrect, hold it where it wants to go, line it up so something convenient can come down, up, slide, second up, reverse, down, and set the top. And like I said, the edge pieces are there to keep for a visual clue to remind me which columns I'm on. So if the cat jumps up on my table in the middle of a movement, or I drop my cube, or the phone rings, or something distracts me, I know what I'm doing. It's there to remind me. So line it up, up, slide to a different column, second up, reverse, down, and that is landed. Okay, here's a blue. Okay, it's going to land here, so I can bring this yellow down or the red down. We're bringing yellow down, up, slide to a different column, second up, reverse, down, reverse, down. Now when you're working on these obliques, the ones that are not diagonal, it really does, you have your choice of which direction you rotate the top to get it into a different column. And the only reason it matters is if you're trying to make a pretty pattern on the front, and so you care which pieces move into which spot. If you're just solving, that one red is the same as any other red, so it doesn't matter what the colors look like. So line it up, slide, up, reverse, down, reverse, down. Okay, and that's it. Ta-da! Okay, let's finish. Okay, so again, I can use Formula A if I want to, but I can also do the centers with Formula B. So line it up. It's going to land where the red is. I can bring a red, a green, a white, or a blue down. So either one of them, either the blue or the green is fine. So I'm going to line up that green. So I go up, slide to a different column, second up, reverse, down, down, set the top as needed, and that's done. Here's a green. Okay. Let's bring down to the screen and bring down this orange. Up, slide up, reverse, down, and set. And then this green. Line it up with the blue. Up, slide up, reverse, down, and set. Okay, here's a red. I can bring down the white, blue, or orange. I'll bring down the orange. Up, slide down, and set. Okay. Here's white. Okay. Bring down the red. Up, slide down, reset the top. Here's a blue. Okay. I'll bring down the green. Up, down, set the top. Okay. There's a yellow. I'll bring down the white. Up, down, set the top as needed. Here's an orange. Line it up with the yellow. Up, slide down. And we just move 3 cubes around. Here's a blue. Okay, let's bring the orange down, up, and just pick a piece that's incorrect, throw it in the direction it wants to be, reset the top, and keep going over and over again. I don't want to bring the green down, so let's look at the green instead. I'll displace that orange. So go up, down. Okay, so here's an orange. All right, up, down, set the top. There's a blue. This is not a speed solve method. It's not a fewest moves method. It's crazy with regrips. It's very redundant. But it's designed for non-cubers. Those who don't have the mental bandwidth to spend months and months and years learning how to learn the algorithms and how to improve them. This is just for those people who just want to be able to pick the cube up and put it down solved, and they don't really care about time, but they just want to know that they can do it. This is that method. You can learn it within inside of 2 hours, and it works on every complexity cube. Again, A brings a piece to the top and twists the corners around. B moves 3 pieces around, and that's all you ever need to do. So lining up my white there, up, down. As I said, parity is a lie. The cube is inherently honest, and so you can play with parities if you want to, but you don't ever have to. So line it up, slide up, reverse, down, and set the top, and we are done. We have done it. It works on the 3x3x9 as well. This wood Eaton is one of my favorites. The difference is that when you do the 3 sides first, the 3x3 side first, and when you get to the 9 sides, instead of with the formula B, there's a lot of left and right on the top column, going back and forth like this. B does with the 9x9. The adaptation is for every left or right of the top row. Instead of 1, it's 2, and then you can work with each individual column as you go along. So that's the only adaptation to fix this, to be able to do this one as well as the other ones. So it also works on the minxes, however larger a minx you want to have. This is a 7x. This is a 5x, and when I solve it, you can do it with just the formula A, just formula B. And same thing, formula A brings a corner to the top and twists it around, and B moves 3 pieces around as needed. The only difference between them, as far as the ABCube method goes, the difference between the minxes and the cubes is the cubes can have a parity, but it's a lie. Single quarter turn undoes it. Minxes cannot have parities, but they do have an order of operation. You want to do the star parts before you do the non-star parts, because when one of your two columns is the center for moving the star parts, it moves non-star parts as well because of the shape. So if you do the star parts before, there's an order of operations for the minx, parity, which can be undone with a single quarter turn on the cubes. And other than that, it works on all of them. So, does anyone, I'm going to set up tomorrow to be able to do the Zoom if anyone decides they want to do that with me. And if not, it'll just stream. It'll be fine. We'll have fun either way. So, just all you gotta do is message me. My email is abcube.how@gmail.com is my email. If you can leave messages on my cubes at YouTube, but I'm not, I don't always see it the same day you leave the message. I apologize for that. So you guys, I've got 97 followers here on Zoom, on Twitch. If you guys got 3 more people, I'll be in the triple digits. That'll be cool. I do have 100 on YouTube. All right, that's it for me. Thank you for joining me. Go be nice to yourself. Drink lots of water, have fun, be nice, and be good to yourself. And I'll be back here tomorrow, and we'll see how trying to incorporate the Zoom classroom works or doesn't. We'll have fun either way. All right, bye you guys.